Hi, this is James Governor at RedMonk on RedMonk TV, and I'm talking to Richard Nicholson, the CEO of Paremus. We've been talking about the concept of a stackless stack. In other words, a more flexible and modular Java stack. And I think the key question is, well, why would you want that? I've been thinking a little bit about the anti-pattern that you would put a stack up, and of course, you never think about how to tear it down again. A good example might be in backup and restore. You can spend all your time focusing on the backup issue. Well, if you've never actually done a restore, you're not in such good shape. And I think in terms of systems provisioning, we've very often seen systems that are really good at provisioning a system, but not so good at reeling it back in. Why would we want to do that? And is that something that OSGI can provide?
I think OSGI is a component within the end story for that. So going back to this idea of provision and forget, which tends to be the world today, backup stuff, never have to recover it, provision something. We all know that a data center environment, it never changes. You never change servers, they never fail. Business requirements are always the same. You never have to patch systems. So that's the way we've built systems over the last 20 years. And so everything after you deploy a new system is basically an exception process. Normally biological, with operations and engineers moving around, maintaining the system as the underlying runtime changes and the business requirements change. So really we've got to invert the whole problem. So stackless stack, basically, in my interpretation of that, is a dynamic environment which flexes and changes in response to the changing business requirements. Systems go, things change, things fail, and right from the start the systems are built to deal with that. And so what happens is you rip out a whole layer of operational complexity and manual process, which basically exists because of that failure of that first assumption.
Okay, so your tooling as it stands now in terms of understanding OSGI, helping customers to understand it, this is one of the big challenges you're trying to help them solve with tools like Nimble.
That's right. So Nimble and OSGI are components within this story that we use to give the service fabric the things it does. So the service fabric is all about changing in a dynamic environment, flexing, scaling, recovering from failure, really simple deployment and ongoing management of composite systems. In order to achieve that, OSGI is one of the cornerstones, and Nimble is one of the cornerstones of that story in the way we do it. But why we're doing all that is because, you know, things change, and over the last 20 years, one of the fundamental problems with IT is the OPEX costs that originate from the assumption that, you know, the environment is static, software doesn't need to be patched, business.
So you're saying that we can't just pour concrete on it and forget about it?
You can pour concrete on it, you can set it in place, but boy, if you made a mistake, it's a hell of a job chipping it away again.
Okay.
And most organisations are there chipping away every day, you know, changing systems which, you know, were fit for purpose 10 years ago, and gee, you know, the world's different.
Well, very often making changes they shouldn't. Anyway, thank you very much, Richard. Cheers.
Thank you, James.